today we are going to start with essence of training and development in human resource management. Development of human resource is essential for any kind of a growing organization. Unlike any other resource, human resource has unlimited potential of capabilities. The process of development of the human potential capabilities is known as human resource development or HRD. HRD has several subsystems. One has a subsystem which is known as training. In today's knowledge-driven world, core competencies of individuals provide a strategic advantage to the organizations which can be achieved by investing in people. Investment is not confined to compensation but inclusive of updating the skills of the employees. Investment in training and development is generally regarded as good management practice to maintain the appropriate expertise now and in the future. Most of the organizations are aware of the requirement of training and invest the efforts and other resources for training and development to keep the employees in touch with the technological advancements. The importance of training is very much because we are living in a dynamic world. We are living in an ever-changing world. With the blink of the eye, the technology is changing. So if we are not providing to our people in the organization the importance of training and giving them all the resources which are pertaining to training and development, they will not be able to compete in this world. So that is why the importance of training and development is at the core of the organization. Now, soon after the new employees join the organization, necessary training has to be imparted to them so that they are able to handle the assigned jobs to them. So this is a prerequisite for them. Not only this, every company has a systematic training program for the growth and the development of the employees. The term training is used with respect to the teaching of a specific skill, whereas the term development denotes the overall development of the personality of the employees. Training is an instrument of change, and of course it is a process through which the people in most of the cases can be brought to a desired standard of efficiency, condition or behavior of instrument and practice. Now, it is one of the effective and tested tools for the performance enhancement and upgradation of the knowledge and skills of the personnel. As a rule, the effective training can help them in generating the success on a continuous basis for a long period. Training helps in bringing about the adaptability to the environmental changes which are beyond control. Training infuses the confidence to tackle the unforeseen contingencies. Now, there is one more basic advantage of training, that if you are in a process of giving training to your employees, they feel confident, they feel prepared, they feel that they are able to handle and adapt with the changing technological world of today. Now, training can bring about a change of the attitude also, and it appears from the beginning the reason the national training policy applicable for the government organizations in the country. This stresses the need of carrying out a refresher course for the executives at all levels of effective attitudinal changes. Training is a process of increasing the knowledge and the skills of the employees for doing a particular present or prospective job. Now, it is an organized activity which is designed to create a change in the thinking and be of the people to enable them to do their jobs in a more efficient manner. In industry, it implies imparting technical knowledge, manipulative skills, problem-solving ability, and the positive attitudes. The training makes new employees more productive and efficient, and the old employees familiar with the new machines and the techniques by refreshing their knowledge. Now, training is, of course, is done on a continuous basis. It is an ongoing process which never finishes, and so long as the organizations remain in the business. Because again, I will reiterate the fact that we are living in a dynamic world in which the circumstances keep changing, the technologies keep changing, The environment we talk about, the business environment, keeps changing. So to keep a catch on them, to be as a part of the culture of the changing business, the importance of training cannot be undermined. Now I'm coming to the specific definitional part of the training. Training means that people can be brought to a desired standard of efficiency, condition or behavior by instruction and practice. It can be very useful if it helps the people to learn rather than trying to teach. Training is one of the process or the mechanism of the human resource development. Training is linked with the performance appraisal and the career development. Definitely, it enhances your career development, it increases your efficiency, and you feel that you are competent enough to handle and adapt with the changes and the challenges which are surrounding the business you're doing. So training is a means of developing the individual personal effectiveness or developing the individual ability to perform his present job, his future job roles. So training plays a pivotal role in this regard. Now taking it forward, in regard to the individual development dimensions of HRD, that is the human resource development, employee training is one of the fundamental operative functions of the human resource management. Training is the most important function that directly contributes to the development of the human resources. This also happens to be a neglected function in most of the organizations. Recent surveys on the investments made by the Indian organizations on training indicate that a large number of organizations do not even spend 0.1% of their budget on the training. Many organizations do not even have the training department in their organizations. If the human resources have to be developed, the organizations should create the conditions in which the people acquire the new skills, the new knowledge, and develop the healthy patterns of behaviors and style. You cannot do away with this part, as if you do not provide them the facilities for the training, they will not be able to compete in the outside world, they will not be able to handle the inside pressures, they will not be able to perform their jobs efficiently and effectively. So one of the main mechanisms of achieving this environment is institutional training. Training is a short-term process utilizing a systematic and organized procedure by which non-managerial personnel acquire the technical knowledge and the skills for a definite purpose. It refers to the instructions in technical and mechanical operations, like operations of some machines. It is designed primarily for non-managers, for a short duration, and for a specific job. In other words, the training acquire the technical knowledge, the skills, the problem-solving ability by undergoing the training program. Training can be carried at several levels in different ways and at different stages in the employment relationships. Employees are to be trained differently depending on whether they are skilled, semi-skilled, salesmen, personal supervisory staff, etc. In sports, art, or at work, the training makes a difference, and that is why we say that training is a pivotal role, plays a pivotal role in the organizational success to a substantial extent. The innate abilities of each member of the team, fostered and developed by effective coaching and focused on the achievement of a common goal, provide a real competitive advantage. Training is used for developing the skill-based competencies. Generally, employees are trained on the job or through a specific in-house training programs. Outside training can be used for availing the expertise, equipment, or sharing of experiences which are not available in the organizations. Now, the BH defines the training as organized procedure by which people learn knowledge or a particular skill for a definite purpose. Training involves the development of the skills that are usually necessary to perform a specific job. Its purpose is to achieve a change in the behavior of those trained to enable them to perform the jobs better. The top management should ensure that the training programs should be aimed to bring about a positive change in the knowledge, skills, and the attitude of the employees. The training and development play a very important role in the effectiveness of the organizations and to experiences of the people in work. All organizations employ people need to train and develop their staff. Systematic and scientific training is a cornerstone of a sound management. The need for the formal training has increased due to rapid technological changes which require the new skills and attitudes to operate effectively, the new techniques and the equipments. The workers are trained for the new jobs and for handling the present jobs very effectively. Now we are coming to a very important part of today's presentation, that is need and significance of the training. As we all know, we cannot do away with a significant part and the need of the training. So new employees must be trained properly so that they can become efficient. Existing employees have to be trained for taking up the higher level jobs. Money spent on the training is an investment in the human assets. A skill acquired through training is an asset for both the enterprise and of the employees. In fact, in the modern business, no organization can choose whether or not to train the employees. The only choice left to the management is whether training shall be haphazard, casual, and possibly misdirected, or whether it shall be made a careful planned part of the integrated program of the personnel administration. Most growing organizations, they hire a large number of the people every year who may not know how to perform their jobs. There are several jobs where no one can afford an untrained person. For example, an untrained individual cannot be allowed to work as a metro train driver or operate anything for that matter. Such fresh persons, if they are trained properly to contribute to the growth and the well-being of the organizations, the training can definitely strengthen the interpersonal relationships through communication, conflict resolution, problem solving, transactional analysis, etc. It can also improve a teamwork and collaborative through management. The training rewards the individual in this present role. It prepares him for the future roles too. In this case of dyadic relationship, training gives a self-renewing capacity and improves the health of the organization. Training helps in potential appraisal and development. The purpose is to assure the organization that the required number of managers with the relevant skills to meet the present and anticipated needs will be available. Now, the training ensures the managers to grow as persons, to grow their capacity to handle the work, greater responsibility, etc. So, there are some other good points relating to training also. So, let us elaborate them. The training improves the performance of the managers at all levels in whatever job they hold now. Training sustains good performance of the managers throughout their careers. Job and organizational requirements are dynamic. They are changing from time to time in view of the technological advancements and change in the awareness of the total quality and productivity management. The objectivity of the total quality and productivity management can be achieved only through training, and it develops the human skills and efficiency. The trained employees should be valued as a very important asset of an organization. Now, when you talk about the organizational efficiency, productivity, progress, development to a great extent depends upon the training organizational objectives like viability, stability and the growth, and can be achieved only and only through training. So, training is an indispensable part of the organization if you want to be on the path of the efficiency and success. Training is an important part as it constitutes significant part of the management control also. A well developed, a well planned, a well executed training program, it may result into a reduction of waste, spoilage, improvement in the methods of work, reduction in learning time, reduction in supervisory burden, reduction in machine breakage and the maintenance cost. Also, it reduces the accident rate, it helps in improving the quality of the products, improvement in production rates, improvement of morale, reduction in grievances, improvement of efficiency, productivity and reduction in manpower obsolescence. Now, it also enables the organization to provide increased financial incentives too. The opportunities for the internal promotion and raising of the pay rates, wider awareness among participants, enlarged skills and the personal growth. Generally, the need for training arises due to the following reasons. Why do we need training programs in the organizations? It is of paramount importance as we have seen substantial number of reasons why the training is important. Number one is it is very important for the new employees to learn the basic concepts, to stay away from the challenges, to cope up with the challenges, to improve their performance levels, etc. Now is the time to elaborate the concept that why the training is important for the organizations. So, now I will elaborate the reasons one by one. The first reason why there is a need for the training is because of technological changes. In every industry, technological changes are shaping the way of the operations at a very faster rate. Newer machines are being used for automation of the process and the computer-based easy controls. The advances in information technology have enabled the greater degree of coordination between the various business units across the globe. In order to keep abreast with the changes, the employees must learn new techniques to make use of advances in the technology also. For updating the employees in the new methods, procedures, training is needed as a continuous and an ongoing activity. So, after understanding the pressure of the technological changes owing to which the need of training is mandatory for any kind of organization, now we are moving to the second reason why training is important. The training is important because of the demanding customers. This is primarily one of the prime reasons owing to which the training becomes important for the organizations. Owing to liberalization, privatization and the globalization, the customers are becoming more and more demanding and more informed about the products and more sources of information. Intensified competition is compelling the organizations to provide better products and even improving their services. In order to satisfy the customers and to provide best quality products and the services, the skills of those providing them need to be continuously improved through training. The third is a better productivity. Organizations in the present competitive times have to be productive in order to survive and grow. Continuous improvement of the employees' skills is an essential requirement for maintaining the high standards of productivity, which stems from knowledge and which has to be relearned continuously. The training has a positive implication for the productivity and the personal development of the employees also. Now, coming on to the fourth important reason for need of the training is motivating activity. Training updates an employee's for facing the challenges at the workplace. Such skill development contributes to their career development and with the positive implications for the personal development of the employees. Thus, the training is a motivating activity. Motivated employees have lesser turnover, providing an organization with a stable workforce which has several advantages in the long run also. The next reason for the need of quality is a quality products. Trained workers perform jobs better. They run machines safely, which reduces the accidents at the workplace. They work with a greater accuracy, which infuses a high standard of quality in the products and the services, thus giving them a competitive advantage in the difficult times also. The quality reduces the wastage and ensures a better customer satisfaction. The next reason is a sound management tool. Training develops knowledge, skills, attitudes of the employees for the future and also prepares them for the promotion. It will help in reducing the cost of the supervision, wastage and industrial accidents. It has also helps the increase the productivity and the quality. Thus, training can be used as a sound management tool. Now I am coming to the benefits of the training. That if you are organized in your all perspective, paradigms and frontiers of training, what are the eventual benefits which the training gives you as an organization? So, following are the part of the potential benefits of the training to the employees and the employers also. So, first we will move on with the benefits of employers. The employers invest in training because they get several benefits out of the exercise, which are summed up as follows. Number 1, it helps a faster learning of the skills. Training helps the employees by reducing the learning time of the employees for achieving a higher standard of performance. Employees need to have a waste of time in learning of observing others. With profound structure formal training program in the organization, the qualified instructors help the new employees to acquire the skills and the knowledge to do a particular jobs very quickly. Number 2 is your increased productivity. The training enhances the skill of a new employees for performing a particular job, which in turn usually helps in increasing both the quantity and the quality of the output. The training can be of great help even to the existing employees. It helps them to upgrade the performance levels on their present job and prepares for the future assignments also. The third important reason and the benefit of the training is a standard operating procedure, that is SOP. Standard helps the standardization of the operating procedures which are learnt by the employees, and the standardization of the work procedures results in high levels of performance. Employees work intelligently and make fewer mistakes when they possess the required know-how and the skills. Reduced supervision. As a generalization, the trained employees need a lesser supervision because they know what, where, when, how they have to perform. The training does not eliminate the need for the supervision, but it reduces the number of detailed and the constant supervision. A well-trained employee can be self-reliant in his or her work because she knows what and how to do. Under such situations, a close supervision may not be required. The next benefit of training is economy of operations. Trained personnel are able to make better and economical use of the material and the equipment and reduce the wastage. Also, the trained employees minimize the accidents and damage to machinery and equipment. Such reductions contribute to additional cost savings and overall economy of operations. Next is your higher morale. Properly trained employees generally have higher morals. A good training program molds the employee's attitude towards the organizational activities and generates a better cooperation and better loyalty. With the help of the employees, dissatisfaction, complaints, absenteeism and the turnover can be reduced among the employees. Thus, training helps in building an efficient and cooperative workforce. The next importance of training is managerial development. The top management can identify the talent who can be groomed for handling the positions of responsibility in the organizations. The newer talent enhances the productivity of the organizations. When provided with the opportunity for the self-development, employees put in their best efforts to contribute to the growth of the organizations. This was all about the benefits which are endorsed to the employers. Now we are coming to the benefits of the training which is to the employees also, because it is a win-win situation for both employers as well as employees. So now we are coming on to the benefits to the employees. It is now recognized the world over that employee development is indispensable part. Training is regarded as a most significant tool for employee development. Through training, organizations keep track of internal and external changes for employees to become capable of managing the situation in several ways which are mentioned below. The first is increasing confidence. Training gives a very important feeling of confidence to the employees who feel comfortable while handling the newer challenges. Trained workers handle the machines very safely, which gives a feeling of safety, security at the workplace. They also learn the use of various safety devices in the factory. Thus, they are less prone to any kind of accident. The second benefit to the employees is a better performance. Training develops the skills which becomes a valuable personal asset for training and delivering better results, which remains always on the worker. Such employees becomes more autonomous in doing their jobs, and hence the companies can save the cost on a supervisory and control. So the overall cost is also reduced for the organization because they know what they have to do. Another major advantage owing to the employees is their career growth. The managers can develop their skills to take up the higher challenges and work with a new job dimensions. Such an exercise leads to the career advancement of employees to move up, the corporate hierarchy fastly. They feel more motivated as long as with their learning they get the opportunities for the career growth. The higher earnings. The higher earnings are a consequence of the career development. A highly trained employees can command a high salary in the job market and feel more confident and contented. The coping with the change. In fact, the first changing present times, the training provides the capabilities to face the change quickly and to adapt to the new work situations. Employees feel motivated to work under the new circumstances, and they do not feel threatened at all or resist the change. Such adaptability is very essential for the survival and the growth of an organization. Then we have a participative management. Training facilitates the delegation and decentralization of authority. The trained employees are willing to accept the new challenging assignments. And of course, the stability and the flexibility of the organization is improved as its existence no longer depends on the few people. Thus, training is an adjunct of effective management. Now we are coming on to the objectives of management. That what are the basic, the objectives and the endpoints of the training, and why do we do it? The objectives of training can vary depending upon the large number of the factors. Objectives depend on the need of the organization where the training has to be provided and the skills desired and the current levels of the skills. It is very difficult to draw the generalizations in this regard because every organization has a different objective, every organization has a different end to meet, every organization is different in its own respect. So, for one question paper, for different answers, one answers for different question papers is the nuance of the training program. So, we cannot have a common question paper for all and the same answers for all because the needs, the overall requirements of every organization is different from different two organizations. So, hence, it is very difficult to draw generalizations about the objectives of the training. However, there can be formulated keeping in view the company's goals and objectives as under. The first is to systematically impart the new skills to the employees for a quicker learning for preparing both new and old employees to meet the present as well as the changing requirement of the jobs and the organizations by preventing the obsolescence. To train the employees in the company's cultural patterns for ensuring the smooth and efficient working for a department. Increasing the knowledge of the workers for doing a very specific job to optimize the quantity and quality or producing involving improvement in the work methods or skills for overall organizational effectiveness. So, to train the employees to promote the higher jobs by grooming their advanced skills for changing the attitude towards the fellow workers, the supervisor and the organizations. To train the bright but dornish employees in the articulation of goals involving the instructions in initiative and drive, which will assist them to function more efficiently, effectively in the present positions by exposing them to the latest concepts, information and the techniques. To train the employees towards the better job adjustments by providing and promoting the individual or collective morale, a sense of responsibility, cooperative attitudes and the good relationships. To reduce the supervision, waste and accident by providing a safety training to employees, make the employees handle materials, machines, equipments efficiently to check the wastage of time and resources. The next is to arise from the specialization experiences within and outside the view of correcting the narrowness of the outlook that marry to broaden the mindsets of the senior managers by providing them with the opportunities for an interchange. Now, what are the specific areas of training is very important concept. The importance of human resource management to a larger extent depends upon the human resource development. The training is the most important technique of the human resource development, and organizations very rarely get a candidate who exactly matches with the job and organizational requirements. Hence, training is important to develop the employees to make them suitable for the jobs. Business organizations generally provide training to the employees in the following areas. The first is training in a specific skills. This area helps the employees become more efficient on the job. The trainer trains the employees regarding the various skills necessary to do a particular job. For example, a bank clerk is trained in the skills of making correct ledger entries and arithmetical calculations, quick comparisons of figures, etc. Similarly, the technical officers are trained in the skills of the proper project appraisal, supervision, follow-up, etc. The next is your company policies and procedures. This helps in to equip and acquaint the new employees with the company rules, practices, procedures, tradition, management, organizational structure, environment, products and services offered by the company, etc. This acquaintance enables the new employees to adjust with the changing situations. Information regarding the company rules and the policies create favorable attitude about the company and its products and services, as well as it develops a sense of respect for the employees of the company. The company also provides to the employees about the skills needed by the company, its development programs, quality of products, services, etc., which enables the new employees to know their role and the growth and the development of the organizations. The third is your human relation training. It ensures a greater importance in the organization as the employees have to maintain a human relations with the employees as well as the customers. Employees are trained in self-learning, interpersonal competence, group dynamics, perception, leadership styles, motivation, grievance redressal, disciplinary procedure, etc., which enables a better teamwork leading to improved efficiency and productivity. The next is your problem solving training. Most of the problems in the organizations are common to all employees dealing with the similar activity at different levels of the organization. Furthermore, some problems at different levels have some root cause or the other. Hence, management may call all the managerial personnel to discuss the common problems to arrive at possible solutions across the table. This helps in solving the problems and serves as a forum for exchange of the ideas and the information. The trainer organizes these meetings to train and encourage the employees and the trainees to participate actively in such meetings. The next is managerial and supervisory training. Even the non-managers sometimes perform the managerial and the supervisory functions like planning, decision making, organizing, maintaining, interpersonal relationship, directing and controlling. Hence, the management has to train such employees in managerial and supervisory skills also. Next, we have Apprentice Training. The Apprentice Act of 1961. It requires the industrial units of specified industries provide training in the basic skills and the knowledge in a specific trades to educate apprentices with a view to improve the employability or enable them to start their own industry. Generally, this type of training ranges between 1 to 4 years, which provides the technical knowledge in the trades, crafts, etc. Now we are coming to what are the basic elements of training. The Uday Pratik provides the 3 basic elements of the training as follows: the purpose, the place and the time. The first is your purpose. Training without a purpose is useless because nothing can be achieved out of it. The purpose must be identified very carefully, and now a large number of techniques are available to establishing the training needs. The purpose of the training is to bring about the improvement in the performance of the human resources. It includes the learning of such techniques as are required for the intelligent performance of the definite task. It also comprehends the ability to think clearly about the problems arising out of the jobs and its responsibilities, and to exercise the sound judgment in making the decisions affecting the work. Lastly, it includes those mental attitudes and the habits which are covered under the general term morale. The next is your place. So after having identified the purpose of the training program, its place must be decided, that is on the job or off the job. If off the job, then where is the training program would be conducted? The place would also include the choice of the training method and its effectiveness. If it is on the job, of course it has to be in the planning area, the working area, the operational area, but it has to be off the job. You have to identify the place where the training will be undertaken. The third is your time. Training must be provided at a right time. A late training would provide outdated knowledge which would be useless for the employees. The timing has to be very specified, in which month, week of the year and at what time. So the schedules have to be properly formulated. This has many ramifications in terms of the cost of the training and ultimately the efficacy in achieving the desired results. Now we have training and development and education HRD. Programs are divided into training, development, education categories. The organizations talk about the training usually along with the development. Dale Yotter has observed the following: the use of the term training and development in today's employment setting is far more appropriate than training alone, since human resource can exert their full potential only when their learning process goes far behind simple route and routine. Although the term training and development are used together, they are often confused. Training means learning the basic skills and knowledge necessary for a particular job or a group of jobs. It is systematic development of attitude and the knowledge. Skill pattern required by a person to perform a given task or a job adequately, which improves the human performance on the job and employees engaged or is hired to do so. It is also given that the new technology introduced at the workplace, the training is the act of increasing the knowledge to perform a particular job. Development refers to a growth of an individual in all respects, including the ability, understanding and awareness. It enables the workers to create a better product, faster services and more competitive organizations. It is learning for a growth of the individual but not related to a specific present or a future job. An organization works for the development of its executives or potential executives in order to enable them for a more effective in performing the various functions of the management. An effective development of 41 programs aims at increasing the capacities of the individual to achieve the desired objectives. Executive capacities employ the personal ability, the potentials, while earning the objectives imply the consideration for a goal of the organization and individuals. Increasing the capacities implies the change occurs in the executive and through him in or her organizations and subordinates. Development involves the changes in the organization that are systematic, organized and successive and serve as an adaptive function. Flattening of the structure. In many organizations, a sharp reduction in the number of rungs on the career ladder. Existing broader roles require a wide range of skills. The growing trend of empowerment of employees to think for themselves how best to improve the way they work. They have created a need for all the employees to develop and grow. The differences in the training and development are less relevant today. The development used to be reserved for managers or for those with the management potential. Management development programs sought to equip the people with the development and the skills that might be needed to a larger stage. This gives them a different flavor from current job focus of a short-term training activities. Hence, the development and the growth once reserved for the managers have become a common to everyone. Once the universities and the colleges provide education management specific, offered the management development and job related training were given by the technical specialist. So presently, universities and the college management specialists and the technical specialists provide education. Training and development have no exclusive jurisdiction to education or training and development. It is a process of train and growth. In the process, managerial growth gain and supply skills, knowledge, attitudes, their organizations effectively and efficiently. This process is not one shot affair, but continuous throughout that professional career. So there always exists a gap between the actual performance and capacity. This gap provides opportunity for improvement, increased understanding of others and oneself, aids in managing and contributing to one's own development. There are certain forces like age, habits, reduced motivation, which may retard the further growth and development. The development takes place in a very challenging atmosphere. Growth involves stress and strains. This process helps in the middle management to establish a clear picture of executive functions and responsibilities. It brings about an awareness and the broad aspects of management problems and provide an acquaintance with the interdepartmental relationship and applications. It develops the analytical ability to regard to the problems and to take remedial actions. And of course, it develops the familiarity with the managerial uses of financial accounting, psychology and the business law and the business statistics. It inculcates the human knowledge, motivation, human relationship. It develops the responsible leadership. This process requires the clear-cut objectives and the way and the means of achieving these. The participation is very essential for the growth. Spoon feeding does not bring the lasting improvements. The feedback is very essential for the recognition and the shortcomings and for keeping oneself in touch with the progress that has been achieved. Development is achieved through the techniques like planned progression, job rotation, creation of assistants to the positions and the understudy coaching and counseling and the temporary promotion. The association with the committees and the junior board of management and of course for the business games in basket exercise, the transactional analysis, etc. The distinction between training and development is as follows. Training imparts skills and the knowledge which increases the required skills for doing a particular job. Development refers to the growth of an employee in all respects, particularly shaping the attitude. Training generally imparts the specific skills to the employees. Development is more general in nature and aims at overall growth of the executives. The training is maintaining and improving the current job's performance, which are short-term perspective, and the development builds up the competencies for the future performance and has a long-term perspectives. Training job-centric in nature. Development is career-centered in nature. The role of the trainer or supervisory is very important in training, and whereas the development is self-development and the executive has to be internally motivated for the same. Now, what is the difference between training and education? The purpose of training is to supplement the education. The training goes hand in hand with education. The learning is modification of the behavior through training. In all, training there is some education, and in all education there is some training. So these two processes cannot be separated from the development. Training is concerned with increasing the technical skills and the knowledge and operative skills in doing a particular job. Hence, mostly employees train their employees for a particular job, but the scope of education is definitely broader. It includes acquiring not only the technical skills and the knowledge, but also the behavioral skills and the knowledge, the general knowledge, the social knowledge, and the like. Thus, the purpose of education is to develop individuals. It is concerned with changing the environment, political and the social. Education is not only through the formal instruction in the educational institutes, but also through the training, observation, awareness, and so on and so forth. So, training normally has indefinite, immediate, specific, utilitarian process and the purpose, whereas education has a longer and a general utility. So, though it is difficult to differentiate between training and education as they are closely interrelated, it can be said that training is a part of education. According to Dale Yoder, the use of the term training and development in today's employment setting is far more appropriate than training alone, since human resources can exert their full potential only when the training process goes far beyond simple routine. So, training is different from education in the different respects. Training is concerned with increasing the knowledge and the skills in doing a particular job. The major burden of training falls upon the employers. So, but the education is broader in scope. So, its purpose is confined in developing the individuals, but is concerned with increasing the general knowledge and understanding of the total environment. Education generally refers to the formal learning in a school or a college, whereas training is vocational based and is generally imparted at the workplaces. Training usually has mere, the immediate utilitarian purpose than the education long term. So, unlike the training and education which can be evaluated, development cannot always be fully evaluated. The organizations undertake development and overall development programs to help the people grow and develop, which keeps in mind and afloat the cutting edge of the competitive environment. At the same time, both training and education occur simultaneously. Some schools run formal vocational courses also, which can be job oriented, which are applied, which are definitely fetching you more jobs, whereas the employee training and development programs in industry having a wide scope, which is viewed as education. So, for the organizational training, development and education are all necessary to develop the workers, to undertake higher grade tasks, provide conventional training to new and young workers as apprentice clerk, raise efficiency and standards of performance, meet legislative requirement, health and safety, and inform the people. So, induction training, pre-retirement courses, etc. Now, there is a difference between teaching and learning also. The distinction between two is that teaching is transfer of skills of knowledge from one person to another, and the learning is acquired of skill and knowledge. So, teaching may involve telling, explaining, demonstrating, discussing, and any other element associated with learning. Learning happens when the person under instruction grasps the subject mentally or physically, translate into the words or the actions, locates alongside the other things they know or they can do, or something with their new found knowledge to make their own. So, the learning having above process is known as a learning cycle. So, there are certain limitations of the training. The training could be a failure due to unrealistic goals and essential for the organization's survival and growth. They suffer from the following drawbacks. Most of the organizations prefer offering need-based training, which is unlikely and which is likely to fail identifying the specific needs, as training objectives are set by the trainers, which may not help in realizing the real goals. The time constraint is there, the budget crunch is there. So, that is why there are a lot of problems which are related with the the overall training programs. So, hence such activities provide management development programs and overall problems for the organizations. So, it has to be under the constrained environment. Thank you so much.